season finale of 1,000-Pound Sisters. So we see the family, they get dressed up in all their wedding attire. They head over to the wedding, and it's Amy's big day. And Amy got her makeup done. She got her hair done to look pink, and I actually really like her pink hair. Out of all her colored hair, I think the pink looks the best. And whoever did her makeup did a really good job. Amy's eye was a little red, but it was able to look straight forward, and that was a big concern for her. But she still looked great. You couldn't really notice that she just had eye surgery 10 days prior. And she ends up getting her makeup done, and she's sitting in this room waiting for her wedding to start. And next thing you know, Tammy comes walking in. And she apologized to Amy. She gave Amy this apology that she has been waiting for this whole season. And that was just such a big weight off Amy's shoulders. And you could just tell that Amy was like, oh my God, like, why couldn't this happen sooner? You see how easy this was. Then Tammy said that she accepted Brian. And Amy got really emotional. I'm glad she did it before the wedding, but still, I feel like she should have did it maybe like before Amy got her makeup done, so she didn't have to get her makeup all messed up. But then Tammy gave Amy a gift and said that she accepted her new marriage, and Amy broke down crying, and she said that she's just so happy and looking forward to Tammy and her in the future. And you know what I noticed? I miss their old sisterhood that they used to have. You know, when they first came on the show, they had such a great bond. Like, when they're bigger and fatter, they were so much closer and so more carefree, it seemed like. But then once, like, they started losing all this weight, it just seemed like things started bringing them apart. And I miss the old bond that they had, like when they're making their YouTube videos and making these nasty food concoctions together and playing Chubby Bunny. Those were the good old days, and I just really feel good watching their episodes. Like, if there isn't an episode where there's drama, I still left the episode feeling good because I just love seeing what they had between the two sisters, and I wish they could get back to those days. And then we see Amy walk down the aisle, and everything went good for the wedding. The boys were being a little antsy because, you know, they're supposed to be the, I guess I thought they were going to be the ring bearer, but I guess they were the flower boys. But since it was on Halloween, Amy decided to have the boys hand out candy instead of flowers, and I thought that was a great idea. But the boys got really upset because I guess they ended up bringing them phones to keep them entertained, which I think that was smart because I feel like at the, what did they have, the day before when they had to practice the wedding, it seemed like they didn't bring any toys or tablets or anything for the boys, so they're just finding anything else around the wedding venue to keep them distracted. So they had these phones to keep them distracted, but they had to take the phones away from them right before they walked down the aisle, which made them start going haywire. They should have did it like 5 minutes before walking down the aisle, but I get it. They were trying to reduce the chance of interruptions, and the boys were going crazy. But eventually, once they gave them the candy and said, look, go hand candy out, they were fine, and they handed the candy out, and they actually did really good for the wedding. I was surprised that they're able to just sit down and chill. It was cute because, you know, they had the cameraman and all the people taking pictures at Amy's wedding, so the boys started grabbing the phones and acting like little photographers trying to take pictures. It was so adorable, but I'm glad that Amy had them there for her big day. They ended up tying the knot, they kissed, and oh, I forgot to mention, when Amy started walking down the aisle, Brian started breaking down crying. I really think he likes Amy. At first I was scared that he was just in it for the clout, but I think he genuinely loves Amy and found his person. What had me cracking up though is after they got married, they decided to have a dance reception, and Amy did not practice her damn dance at all. They looked like they had no idea what they were doing. Neither one of them had any kind of rhythm at all. They're just sitting there awkwardly standing next to each other trying to dance. I'm like, girl, you should at least try to practice at least a couple times the day or two before your big day. But they were just winging it. And then after they danced, Brian decided that he wanted to dance on his own, and he tried to break dance in the middle of the ceremony. But this man has not break danced in so many years, and he's old, so he doesn't really move around as good as he used to. So instead of like break dancing and looking like someone from like a Chris Brown movie, instead he just looked like a freaking fish flopping around on the floor that just got pulled out of the ocean. That's what he looked like. That's what he was giving. But they ended up tying the knot, dancing. They had a great ceremony. It was cracking me up because Tammy's girl, Andrea, she got drunk because I guess the alcohol they were serving there was really strong. And Andrea ended up having a few drinks and she was already wasted, and she just kept repeating over and over again, oh my god, this drink is so strong. This is the strongest drink I've ever had. I was just cracking up because the last time that I got drunk, I don't drink that much, but I ended up having a drink at this comedy show, and they're like, oh, do you want to make that a double? And I was like, okay. And I don't ever drink doubles. I drink on holidays. I'll have a drink or two. And then I ended up getting a double, and oh my god, I was so drunk, and I was just like Andrea. Every 2 seconds I kept saying, oh my god, this drink is so strong. I'm like, oh my god, Andrea is me in this moment. But Andrea was very happy that Tammy finally apologized to Amy, and I hope that Tammy actually just makes a difference. I hope she just doesn't apologize and then do nothing to change her behavior. I hope she makes the necessary steps to understand, you know what, my words do have meaning and they do affect people, and maybe I should think twice before I just start hurling really hurtful things towards people. Tammy was cracking me up when she was talking about how Misty is usually dressed like a stud even though she's not a lesbian, but she looked very girly girl in her wedding attire. She had a nice dress, she had her hair all curled up, she had makeup and jewelry on. She looked great. Whoever did her hair did a really good job bringing out her curls. And yeah, so they pretty much tied the knot, and hopefully they'll live happily ever after. But that's really all we got in this season finale, and I'm sure we'll have another season here in another 9 to 12 months. But what did you guys think of this season? Overall, I would probably give this season, I don't know, this might seem harsh, but maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I don't know, I just feel like we haven't got a lot from this past few seasons. Usually, in earlier seasons, I would get so excited after every episode to rush and make a video, and that's kind of how I base how the seasons are, is how excited I am to talk about them. But these past 2 seasons, there's been a lot of episodes that I skipped just because I felt like there wasn't anything worth talking about or much memorable moments. And I kind of felt like that with the wedding. I mean, Amy tied the knot and Tammy apologized, but besides that, there wasn't really a lot else that happened. And I kind of just wish that they did more. I wish they would try to do more time in between when they visit them. It kind of seems like when they film these seasons, they just go down there for a week or so and kind of try to film everything in a week. And I want to see them come down for a few days, film, then come down in a few months and film for a few days, then come back in a few more months and film for a few days, because I want to see what's happening, in between the times. Everything might be good with Amy and Tammy now, or everything might be good with Amy and Brian now, but let's check up on them in 2 months and see what's going good and what's going bad, because it just seems I don't know, when you just rush it within a week or two, it just feels like the whole season's rushed and we don't really get a lot. I also think a lot of the drama that they had in the past seasons were focused around Tammy and Amy's unhealthy relationships they had, Tammy's relationship with the BBW King and with Jerry, and Amy dating or being married to Michael and him not helping out. There was a lot of drama and stuff to talk about when it came to those things. But now that they're in healthier relationships, they don't really have relationship drama. I mean, we did see some relationship drama with Andrea that she exposed, and I'm glad that she shared that, because it kind of seemed for a while that she really wasn't saying much with Tammy, and I think she was kind of just trying to play it safe. But I am glad she eventually opened up about what Tammy is doing behind closed doors. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what is going to be in store for the next season, now that Amy and Brian are married, and now that Amy and Tammy have made up, and what kind of stuff they're going to do next season. It seemed like this season was just really focused solely on Amy's wedding. I wonder if they are going to go on a honeymoon now. But I just want to end this video with my final thoughts. Congratulations to Amy and Brian for tying the knot. And yeah, I think Brian's good for her. It seems like he really cares about the boys. He really cares about Amy, and he's willing to take on everything that comes along with being with her, family drama and all. And they tied the knot, and no ghosts got anybody. Nobody burst up into flames. Nobody has been haunted by any evil spirits since the wedding. At least I hope they haven't. And yeah, so everybody attended, despite, you know, some family members saying at the beginning of the season they wouldn't go somewhere if there was a chance that it could be haunted. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the season finale, and what did you just think about this season and as a whole in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.